morning, Ms. Mathewson. I'd like to just
Mr. Summers, your voice is kind of, that microphone, though, I don't know if it can be readjusted where it can amplify your voice.
Is that better?
I think so.
Okay. Good morning, Ms. Mathewson. I wanted to review the testimony that you gave here today. Excuse me. I'd like to just go through your testimony from the beginning. Starting with the evening of Friday, March 10th, 2017, your statement was that you went to Trevor's neighborhood to pick up the children, Arden, Bryn, and Grady, that evening. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that was at approximately what time?
Dinner time.
Was it still light out?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know approximately how far the community center is from Mr. Summers' house?
Within the same community.
Okay. So you came to the same community 3 weeks after the alleged March incident?
Yes.
Okay. Prior to March 10th, 2017, that week, were you sick at all?
Yes.
Objection, Judge. Relevance.
I'm going to allow a little bit of leeway. Let's see where it's going. What's the next question?
Let's go to the evening where I arrived. You've seen the state's evidence in the videos and the photographs as you've attested to them. Do you remember seeing a video of your neighbor's camera from their house, an evening video from 1418 Dew Bloom Road?
I was never shown that video.
Okay. Do you remember approximately what time I arrived in your home?
I was asleep.
Do you recall which window I came in your home?
I was asleep.
Do you, or could you tell us if there were any doors on your house other than the front door?
No exterior doors other than the front door, the door leading to the garage, but no other doors.
Okay. Do you remember what was in your backyard?
A swing set.
Do you remember how that swing set got there?
Objection, Judge. Relevance.
Sustained.
Okay. Did your children use that swing set?
Yes.
Objection, Judge. Relevance.
Sustained.
Did the children ever utilize the windows to go into the backyard?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. When you looked at the photos of the windows on the side of the house and on the back of the house, did you notice excess dirt in those? Or would you like me to get the picture to refresh?
No.
Okay. Do you recall from any police reports or any of the evidence that you've seen how long I was at your house before you were awakened?
Judge, I'm going to object. She can only testify to what she is aware of, not what she read in a police report.
The witness can only testify to her own personal knowledge, not what she obtained from reading. So rephrase the question.
Okay. Do you know how long I was at your house until you were woken?
I woke up at 3 a.m.
You woke up at 3 a.m. and you said that you were woken by water droplets?
Yes.
Okay. So that was the first moment you were woken up by water droplets.
Yes.
Okay. And you said it was dark in your room?
Yes.
How dark was it?
The only light was coming from my digital clock. Very dark.
Was that enough light to see a figure standing in a certain position in your room?
Yes.
And when you say that you were startled awake, do you know? I'm sorry. Let me change that. You said then that your feet were grabbed.
Yes.
Is it one ankle, two ankles?
I don't recall.
Did you recall me saying anything about calm down, it's just me?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall if you threw any other items?
No.
Do you recall how those items got neatly placed back on a table in a vanity?
No.
Do you recall other items that were on the end tables?
No.
Your Honor, may I publish some of the state's exhibits?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'd like to use State Exhibit A, Set 1.
A set 1.
Let's start from here.
Actually, you need to push something to turn it to the camera. There's a button on there. I don't know, Deputy Estella, do you know what button that is to change it from the computer to the document camera? It's on the screen, I believe. Tina, do you know what to do?
Kind of hard.
I will. We'll do that. It's above my pay grade. There.
Thank
And
you.
if you want to,
It's me, Tom.
yep, and focus, it's right there.
Okay. Let's start back with this picture here. I believe it was your testimony
Judge,
that...
we'll need to know for the record which photograph it is.
Yes, absolutely. Identify it. It should be on the back.
yes, Your Honor. This is photograph Set 1, A10.
Thank you.
May I publish?
Yes, you may.
Okay. I believe your testimony was that this screen was not there prior to my arrival.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Do you believe that you put that screen there?
No.
Do you believe... So you don't know who put that screen there?
No.
Okay. This is picture Set 1, A14. May I publish?
You may.
Is that an accurate picture of the playground in the backyard?
Yes.
And did the children use that frequently?
Yes.
And you would agree that that playground and that window are directly behind the children's playroom?
Yes.
I'm at photo A21, Set 1. Am I published?
Yes.
Okay. And you said this is the living room?
Yes.
And on the evening that the children were there, do you recall where you, Brandon Grady, and Arden were sitting?
At what point?
On the evening of March 10th, when they were with you?
We were sleeping in the master bedroom, me, Bryn, and Grady.
Sorry, let me clarify for you. On the evening of March 10th, when the children were with you in the living room, Can you tell me where everyone was sitting?
I was in the middle on the closest couch. I was in the middle of Bryn and Grady, and Arden was on the love seat.
Okay. Is that the same love seat that Arden went to sleep on that night?
I don't know. I was in bed asleep. I don't know which couch she slept on.
Okay. Photo A23, set 1. May I publish?
Yes.
You see that one very well. Can you tell me what is on that desk against the wall?
A computer,
Anything else?
a sweater, papers.
Did that computer have internet service?
Yes.
Is there any kind of internet feed or cable feed on that wall?
I do. Not that I know.
Not that you know of?
No. It was Wi-Fi.
Photograph A22, set 1. May I publish?
Yes.
In this photograph, do you see any cable or internet feed or router?
The router over in the left corner.
Okay. And do you know if you can hook a telephone to that router?
That's not where I hooked my telephone.
I'm not asking where. I'm just asking if you can.
You can.
Photograph A21, or I'm sorry, A25, set 1. May I publish?
Yes.
Miss Mathewson, in this photograph is a picture of is it the garage door,
Yes.
the front door?
Front door.
Is the key hook there?
Yes.
It's a hook, I guess, placard that you let keys hang on.
Yes.
Do you know what key is still hanging on that hook?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, we'll see if we can find a better photograph of that. The walls look pretty clean and intact.
Yes.
Would you agree that in the previous photos that the walls also were clean? There's no dents, no scratches, no marks.
Yes.
Okay. Photograph A32, set 1. May I publish?
Yes.
Mrs. Mathewson, is this a picture of your garage?
Yes.
Is this the condition it was in when you left the home that evening, when you went to bed that evening?
Yes.
And can you identify some of the things that are in the garage here?
Bins and boxes and things that I haven't put away in my home or storage.
Okay. Thank you. Photograph A35, set 1. May I publish?
Yes.
And Mrs. Mathewson, you said that your testimony is this was a toolkit that you had kept, and this was in the same location as it was when you went to sleep that night?
As far as I'm aware, it was normally kept in that general area on the washer or the dryer or the shelf, but yeah, I believe it was there.
Okay. Thank you. Photograph A37, set 1. May I publish?
Yes.
Ms. Mathewson, what is this a photograph of?
That's my kitchen.
This is your kitchen. And, do you see anything out of order, out of place?
No.
Did you have any struggle in the kitchen?
No?
No. Did you go into the kitchen at all?
The very entrance of the kitchen to try to get to the phone that is normally right there, right where that T thing is, it's normally hanging on the wall right in front of that.
Okay. Did you have any tea that night?
I don't recall.
Is the tea usually just sitting on the counter?
I would say normally no.
Thank you. Photograph A36, set 1, may I publish?
Yeah, and actually, Mr. Summers, you don't have to ask to publish each one. Just identify which one you're publishing, and you can publish it right after you identify what it is.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Mathewson, is this another picture of you into the kitchen?
Yes.
And those things sitting on the countertop there, are they in the same place that they were when you left that evening? When you went to sleep that evening?
I believe so.
Okay. They're not disorganized or thrown around or anything like that?
No.
No. Did you have any struggle near this location?
Near that location.
Thank you. Publishing A40, set 1.
That's upside down.
Ms. Mathewson, can you tell us what this is a photograph of?
This is my hallway.
Okay. What is the first door on the right?
I don't live in this home anymore. I believe that's a closet.
Okay. What is at the end of the hallway?
On the end of the hallway, there's a mirror. The left side is the master bedroom, and on the right side is a small hallway.
Okay. And so, in your testimony, you said that you were brought down this hallway,
Yes.
and you said that was by your ankles,
Yes.
and at the same time you were kicking
Yes.
while you're being held by your ankles.
Yes.
Okay. Do you notice any claw marks on the walls or any lines on the carpet? Anything that would indicate that kind of a struggle?
No.
Publishing A44, set 1. Ms. Mathewson, this is a photograph of the master bedroom, correct?
Yes.
Okay. As you can see, the tissue box is neatly placed on the end table. Would you agree?
Yes.
There are hangers on the bed. Do you know what those hangers were for?
I don't recall.
The pajamas on the bed, those are the pajamas you had on before you changed?
I can't tell from this picture.
It is a gray piece of fabric and a pink piece of fabric.
It could be.
Okay. Do you believe you would have gotten changed on that side of the bed?
Possibly.
Do you sleep on the right side of the bed?
I would normally sleep by where the tissues are.
Yes, on the right side of the bed?
Yes.
Okay. Do you also see two scarves on top of the hutch cabinet?
Yes.
Okay. And you see one scarf on the floor?
Yes.
And you see a belt to an outfit that you have?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Publishing A45, set 1. Okay. Mrs. Mathewson, can you tell me what the contents of that laundry basket are?
There's a pink sheet, there's some clothes, possibly, I can't really tell, maybe a towel.
Okay. Is that the pink sheet that you say you were wrapped in?
Yes.
So would you be able to explain why it's underneath the other clothes?
I cannot.
Thank you. Publishing A47, set 1. Mrs. Mathewson, is this a photograph inside your master bedroom?
Yes.
Do you see the variety of items in and around this piece of furniture?
Yes.
Do you see a large cord or a wire underneath of that?
Yes.
Did Mr. Summers or did myself attempt to use that to inflict any harm upon you?
No.
Do you see any cords on top of that cabinet?
There's a variety of things on top of the cabinet, but no.
Okay. Do you see, is this normally how this piece of furniture looks? You have a variety of things sitting on top of it?
Not normally.
Okay. Can you tell me how these things got there or arranged this way?
No, they just happened to be there.
This was this way before you went to bed?
I can't recall.
Okay. Publishing A48, set 1. And Mrs. Mathewson, this is the right side of the bed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You see a variety of articles on the bedside table?
Yes.
Did you attempt to throw any of those items?
No.
No. Are they all kind of in order?
The lower shelves, no, did not touch any of the things on the lower shelf. The side table, yes, those were used throughout the March 11th. I used them to throw the box of tissues. So yes.
Okay. Is anything out of order on this table?
No. I mean, different than when I went to sleep.
It is different than you went to sleep?
The top of the table is different than when I went to sleep.
What's different about the top of the table?
My water cup is not on the side table that I sleep with every single night. The box of tissues is not where it normally is. It's normally against the wall behind the clock.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Publishing A51, set 1. Mrs. Mathewson, is this a better angle for you to see the top of that dresser?
Yes.
Okay. Can you remember if this is the way things were before you went to sleep?
I don't recall.
Okay. Publishing A52, set 1. Okay. Mrs. Mathewson, this is a photograph of which bathroom?
The master bathroom.
And that blue cup is the one that you threw across the room?
Yes.
And that blue cup is now sitting nicely on the vanity?
Yes.
Did you put it there?
I don't recall who put it there.
Did you use it while I was there with you?
I don't recall.
You don't recall? Okay. Publishing A53, set 1. Mrs. Mathewson, this is the vanity in that bathroom?
Yes.
The bathroom you used every day?
Yes.
Is there anything missing from this vanity?
I couldn't tell you what is missing.
Do you usually have cosmetic items, other cosmetic items?
Objection, Judge, relevance.
Well, he's asking questions about items that you introduced into evidence, so I'll allow that question.
Yes.
Do you notice any of your cosmetics missing from this?
Yes.
Could you tell me which cosmetics were missing?
I cannot tell. I don't have the knowledge of what cosmetics I used 5.5 years ago.
How about your toothbrush?
My toothbrush is not there. Maybe off to the side, but my toothbrush is not there.
Okay. Thank you. Publishing A56, set 1. Ms. Mathewson, can you tell me what this picture shows?
That is the master closet.
Okay. Can you identify anything in that photograph for us?
Identify a bunch of stuff on the floor. Piles of clothes, random things. I can't tell you exactly what everything is.
Okay. Publishing A58, set 1. It's a little better of a close-up.
Okay.
Can you tell me what else you see? Can you identify any other things in this photograph?
All I see are clothes and just random things.
Do you see any belts?
At this time, I can't see. Oh, I see some belts under the clothes.
Is this location in here?
Yes.
Do you see any scarves?
I don't see scarves in this picture.
Anything in this bag? A bunch of scarves?
Those look like nylons.
Nylons?
Yes, pantyhose.
We could zoom in a little bit.
I do not see scarves. I see socks and pantyhose.
And this one here?
Socks and pantyhose is what I see.
Thank you. Publishing A67, set 1. Mrs. Mathewson, what bedroom is this?
This is the kid's bedroom?
And you said this is how it looked before you went to sleep, correct?
Yes.
And the pink sheet that you saw in the laundry basket, is that the same, from the same set that is on that bed there?
I have 2 sets of pink sheets, one for the master and one for this bed. I don't know which one.
Okay, thank you. Publishing A73, set 1. Ms. Mathewson, this is a photograph of which room?
The kids' playroom?
And does it look this way normally, or did it look this way before you went to sleep that night?
It looked that way when I went to sleep.
Okay, so there was a clear path then right in front of the window.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Publishing A75, set 1. Ms. Mathewson, if you look at that windowsill, do you see the staining on it, the dirt on it?
Okay. I see a windowsill, but I can't tell what is on that
Do
windowsill.
you see any discoloration here?
Sure, there's discoloration.
So, could that be from the children going in and out of that window?
They were not permitted to go in and out of that window. If they went in and out of that window, they were told they had to go through the front door and around to the backyard.
Okay. Thank you. Publishing A84, set 1. Mrs. Mathewson, this is a picture of the, I guess, little pail that sits outside your front door you used to place cigarette butts in. Do you see any recently smoked cigarette butts in there?
I don't. I can't answer that. I can't tell if there's recent cigarette butts. There's no way of me knowing that.
No? Do you see one on top of all the rest?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Publishing A86, set 1. Mrs. Mathewson, can you tell me what is on the sofa there?
That is my work laptop.
Okay. And did you use that at all between March 10th, or March 11th at your house?
No.
No? Did you use it on a regular basis prior to that?
Yes.
Okay. Who purchased that computer for you?
Objection, Judge, relevance?
I'll sustain its relevance.
Publishing A93, set 1. Okay, Mrs. Matthews, this is the trash can in the kitchen, correct?
Yes.
And you see the items that are on the top?
Yes.
Okay, so a couple of water bottles, like a ball of string, and just maybe some random trash, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall how much string that might be?
I have no idea. There was a lot of string.
It's a lot of string, and then it was your testimony that that string fit in my pocket.
It was wrapped, but I saw it come from your pocket. Yes, it was wrapped.
All of that string came from my pocket.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Publishing A95, set 1. Mrs. Mathewson, is That the NyQuil bottle that you say was used
Yes.
that weekend? Yes. And can you tell me how many doses you believe you took that weekend?
A few.
A few. Would you have attested to anything different in another matter?
I don't recall. I was in shock when I was found, but it was a few.
A few. Would you like to refresh your memory? Do you need to refresh your memory?
I don't need to refresh my memory.
Okay. Can you recall about how many times you've testified about this NyQuil?
This is the first time that I'm testifying about the NyQuil.
So you've never spoken about this in any other proceeding related to this case?
I spoke about it in another case.
Okay. Do you recall what you said about the NyQuil?
I don't recall what I said in another case about the NyQuil.
Okay. Do you think you were very specific in another case about the NyQuil?
I don't recall the details of the NyQuil in another case.
Do you believe you would have said 2 doses?
Objection, Judge, improper impeachment.
Sustained.
And you did just say earlier that you weren't feeling well that week?
Earlier in the week.
Correct. Okay. Thank you. Publishing A96, set 1, please. Ms. Mathewson, you see some duct tape in that trash can?
Yes.
And you say that was used for what purpose?
I said that the duct tape was placed on my mouth.
Okay. Did you have any marks after the duct tape was pulled off?
Not that I recall.
Do you know if when you were evaluated at the hospital, they were able to test around your mouth for any kind of adhesive or any damage from duct tape?
I was thoroughly they had to, I can't recall.
Okay. Could that duct tape have been used for any other purpose that evening, that day, that in the past week?
That is I have no idea.
Okay, thank you. Publishing A100, set 1. Ms. Mathewson, what is this electronic device on the chair?
Hold on, wait one second, Mr. Summers. My exhibit list, and Ms. Johnson, you can help me, says set 1 is A1 through 104.
Correct.
So
This
check.
is 100.
I thought you said 107.
I'm sorry, no, you're on 100.
Okay, excellent. All right.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Mathewson, what is that electronic device?
This is a tablet.
And your testimony was that it may or may not have been working?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
It was the kids' tablet. They were complaining about it not reacting when they touched it.
Okay. But it's plugged in charging?
I was charging it to see what was going on with it.
Okay, thank you. I am finished with this set, Your Honor. I'll return it to the clerk. Okay. Ms. Mathewson, let's move forward in time a little bit. So you're woken up, and you say that you were drug into the living room. Do you remember approximately how long you were in the living room?
Approximately 3 hours.
Approximately 3 hours, okay. And in that time in the living room, have you described in any prior testimony it as wrestling?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall 3 hours? It's a lot of talking. Other than just your comments about going into some boats or offshore, do you recall what other things we were talking about for 3 hours?
There wasn't talking going on at this point. There was fighting, wrestling, me trying to get free and out of the house.
And did those photographs depict the kind of wrestling and fighting that you're talking about?
To me, they did.
They did?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall our son Landon coming to the front door?
I recall knowing that Landon was there and him being in the vicinity of the front door.
Okay. Do you remember if you or I opened the door for him?
I don't recall.
How dark was it in that living room?
It was very dark.
Could you see my face?
As it got lighter, but at 3 a.m. I couldn't. I just knew it was you.
Okay. Well, I believe that you testified that the children left the home around 5:30 that morning. Is that correct?
Approximately.
Okay. So that brings it closer to 2.5 hours. The children, if they left at 5:30, do you believe that the sun was coming out at that point?
It was winter, not. That weekend was when daylight savings would have happened. We had not gone into the daylight savings yet, so I don't recall.
So you're just agreeing it was very dark in that living room?
Yes.
Okay. And, but you don't remember all the things we were talking about. You thought we were fighting, wrestling, that kind of stuff for most of that time?
Yes.
And is that where you sustained some of the bruises,
Yes.
some of the scratches?
Yes.
Okay. So you think most of the injuries that were photographed happened in that living room?
Some happened in that living room. Some happened through other moments of the events.
Okay. It was your testimony that you saw scarves wrapped around my body in the living room?
Tied to your belt loops.
Tied to my belt loops. And they couldn't have come from your closet?
Those scarves were not at my new home.
Okay. So you didn't notice them at any other time until we were in a dark living room?
Yes.
And you could discern in that darkness the colors of peach, pink, and white.
I could not see the colors at that time.
It was your prior testimony that you noticed the colors. You stated the colors.
I know that they are those colors because you used them to tie me up after the struggle, so I know what colors they were.
Okay. Let me ask you, Mrs. Mathewson, do we ever use scarves intimately?
Objection, Judge?
Legal basis.
Your Honor, it goes to...
She can answer the question.
Okay.
Oh. I do not recall ever using scarves intimately.
In 16 years of marriage, did we ever go beyond just regular intercourse?
Objection, Judge. Relevance?
Hold on, don't respond. I'm going to allow it overruled.
Mrs. Mathewson, you may answer.
I was a teenager when I began dating you.
I'm sorry, can you answer the question?
I'm answering
Wait.
the question.
Wait. Don't cut her off.
I'm sorry.
But unless you intended to narrow the scope.
I just didn't want to get into the history that she's starting out with. I did want to just ask
Well, do you have
during
a
our
specific?
marriage.
Do you have a more specific question?
I asked during our marriage. I didn't ask about her teenage years. She started out with her teenage years. I asked about our marriage. Did we do more than just regular intercourse?
Well, do you have a more specific question than? I mean, that's a broad more than. You have a specific question during the marriage?
Okay, I can be specific. Did we, during our marriage, use peripheral objects in our sexual activity?
More in the early marriage, prior to having 5 children.
Okay. Did we get more adventurous in our sexual habits?
Judge, I'm going to object.
And the legal basis is
Relevance.
sustained.
Did we ever use scarves or strings or anything to as part of our sexual encounters from time to time?
I don't recall a single instance. I don't recall any.
Okay. But you do recall us using a variety of quote-unquote toys and things of that nature.
Judge, I'm going to object to
Sustained
relevance.
as to relevance.
Okay. Well, I'll move on. It was your testimony that we were in the living room when Arden came into the home. Is
Yes.
that correct? Is there any chance that you might be mistaken and we were in your bedroom when Arden came into the home?
The way I remember it is I was in the living room.
Do you recall possibly sitting on your bed when Arden came into the home?
Objection, Judge. Asked and answered.
Not this specific question, only if you know.
Oh, I don't. What was the question?
Do you remember if you were sitting on your bed when Arden came into the room?
The way I recall it is I was sitting in the living room.
Okay. And when Arden came in, did you say anything to Arden?
No.
Did you look at Arden?
I looked at her. She did not look at me.
Did you say anything to the 2 younger children?
No.
How long was Arden in the home?
A few moments.
A few moments as in seconds, minutes?
Enough time to get the children and leave.
Did she take anything with her?
I have no idea if she took anything with her.
Did Arden leave peacefully?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe that if there was some problem, Arden would have spoken up?
Objection, Judge. Speculation.
Sustained.
Okay. Okay, we'll go forward. After Arden left, was I on my telephone?
I have no idea.
Do you know if I was communicating with Arden while she drove to my house?
At the time, I had no idea she drove to your house.
Okay. While she was, right after she left, what did we do?
You tied me up.
Before she left? After she left?
After she left, you tied me up
Where?
in my bed.
In your bed. And you said this was with string. You said, sorry, Christmas lights. And you said a vacuum cleaner?
Yes.
Okay. So it was how did I go get the Christmas lights?
It was already tied with the scarf and the string. Then you left and went and got the Christmas lights
So I left the room to go get Christmas lights.
while I was tied up.
And there were other items you saw in the room that probably would have been easier than going out to your garage to get Christmas
Objection,
lights.
Judge. Speculation.
Sustained as to speculation.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Mathewson. What is the time frame between when Arden left and there were videos made on your telephone?
It was about 5:30, 6 o'clock she left. The videos happened when I was first hogtied, which would be approximately 11 o'clock. 6, I'm trying to do the math while I'm thinking. It's 5 hours.
5 hours? Okay. What did we talk about for 5 hours?
I didn't do much talking. You can go on and on and on about random nonsense, and it's incoherent nonsense, but you can just go on about it.
Okay. Do you remember specifically what incoherent nonsense I was talking about?
Chartering a boat, money in offshore accounts, going to the island, having a bodyguard to watch me, your parents' involvement, our children, what happened through the marriage. There's many, many, many topics that you could go on for hours about.
Do you remember speaking to me about any offshore accounts? Do you remember questioning me about offshore accounts?
You want to talk about the offshore accounts?
Did you question me about where they are?
There are 2 reasons why I would believe that you had offshore accounts. 2 reasons.
I'm just asking right now if you asked me where those offshore accounts were.
Judge, we're going to need to approach.
All right. We'll excuse the jury, gentlemen of the jury. Please do not discuss the case amongst yourselves or do any research related to the case. We'll take a very short break. All rise for the jury. In limine, that's why she's hesitant.
Yes, she is hesitant because he's opening up.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is. She can answer.
To times federal agents have come and removed him from an airplane.
She can answer.
He believes that the feds were after him due to his money
Yeah.
issues.
He's opening the door. She can answer. But I appreciate her hesitancy, not knowing since there was a motion in limine. But if he asks for that information and that's the answer to it, that's called opening the door, which he clearly is doing if he wants to continue that line of questioning. Anything else? Did you want to be heard, Mr. Summers?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not asking about anything federal. I'm asking if she specifically asked me one question about having an offshore account.
So what exactly is your question to her?
If she asked me
Did you ask me about the accounts?
I asked, did she ask me where I had offshore accounts? It has nothing to do with my
That's a
federal.
specific leading question that calls for a yes or a no answer.
Yes.
So, but be very careful.
Yes.
I'm going to just answer that question, yes or no. But if you ask any other questions that are not specific leading questions that call for a yes or a no, that require you to say something in response to that question that may have been the subject of motion in limine, you absolutely may do it. All right?
Judge, the concern is if her answer is she did not ask specific questions about it, which then calls in question to the jury, why didn't she question him more about it? She didn't question him more about it because she already knew all of these federal issues he has had for years and years and years. So it may seem...
So he may still open the door with his leading question. If she says no, then on redirect, you're welcome to ask redirect questions related to the answers she gave on cross.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right? You understand that, Mr. Summers? I don't know what she's going to say. I know you want to know whether she asked you about them, yes or no. What Ms. Johnson is suggesting is if she says no, then that leaves open the opportunity and the question on redirect as to why didn't you ask him? And if the reason that she didn't is the basis of a motion in limine that stuff she wasn't supposed to talk about, you've opened that door.
Well, I think, Your Honor, we just put the idea in her head about that. That's not the basis of this question.
Well, I mean, she's under oath to answer truthfully, and the question you want answered right now is yes or no, did she ask you? And I'm going to allow it. You proceed at your own risk as to whether you open any doors. You understand that?
Yes.
All right.
Judge, we do also, I want to put on the record, I know Your Honor had mentioned yesterday that if we do not finish, the state had planned on resting Thursday. We are doing everything to move as quickly as we can. We are eliminating some of our witnesses that are not absolutely necessary to prove our charges.
That's good.
And we have serious concerns based upon the number of continuances that this defendant has filed in this case, that he does not want this case to go to a jury. Mm-hmm. And now that you have made that comment, that it is the state's serious concern that he is going to do anything and everything he can to prolong this case.
Approximately how much longer do you anticipate your cross of this witness is going to be?
Your Honor, you're welcome to see my notes. I'm on page 2 of 14. I'm just going item by item, crossing exactly the things she attested to.
It's a simple question.
So I would estimate, what time are we breaking for lunch?
As soon as the lunch gets here, which could be any minute now. Oh, they went to pick it up. So, yeah. So we're not going to break. We're going to go ahead and I'll bring them in and tell them we're going to break for lunch. No, you know what? There's no need to do that unless either of you want me to do it. We'll just tell them this is their lunch break. Give them the lunch, and we'll pick back up in 30 minutes from the time they get it. I want to give them